welcome to the stage your late night show host, Trey Aldin.
Welcome back to ITV's Late Night Show. On this special edition of the Late Night Show, in honor of the spooky season upon us, we have two very special guests. Our first special guest is a renowned paranormal investigator, Bob Hagar, followed by our annual telling of a ghost story. Our final act of the night will be our special guest, Sarah Lutheran. She is a survivor of the Conjuring house, where she was possessed and now lives alone to help prevent from ever being fully possessed or possessed again. I hope you stay tuned for this very special edition of the Late Night Show tonight. Now put your hands together as we welcome Bob Hagar. So Hagar, what made you want to be a paranormal investigator?
Well, Sonny, back in my day, little old Miss Betty was lost by the ghost on the full moon on the 30th night of October. And I had to get more information on what happened. Miss Betty Old Sue was a wonderful old woman, make the sweetest apple pie, and I needed a way to figure it out. So I wanted to get deep in. I wanted to figure out what happened, because everyone just said, oh, Miss Betty Sue passed away last night. But Miss Betty Sue didn't pass away peacefully like everyone says that she did in her own bedroom. There was screams and hollers, and everyone knew it, but everyone tried to hide it. So I just had to dig deeper.
Very interesting. So, I know this is a big question with the audience tonight. So, what can you tell us about the paranormal?
Well, it's a dangerous world out there. Everyone warned me about it when I was youngin', saying I've led the way in this stray in this path that it was going to come back to bite me. But I never had that happen to me. I thought it was fine, but it is a dangerous world. And
Okay. We will be right back after this little break. Now, we are back from the break, and Bob Hagar is being received medical attention in the back, and he's doing perfectly fine as of now. But now it's time to tell you of our annual ghost story tonight. So, our ghost story tonight is about a cabin in the woods. So, let's get right to it. A hiker decided to go on a hike by himself, something he was not very used to. The whole day was normal. The trees and bushes engulfed his surroundings. He enjoyed being outdoors in the mountains. Nothing seemed to be strange to him. But then, until he was making his way back to his car, he figured an 8-hour hike was good enough. The sky was already getting dark. He needed to go back fast. What was odd was how much he didn't recognize the trail back. He began to panic. What in the world? We'll be right back after we get this little thing fixed. And we are back. Some odd things have been happening around the studio tonight, but it is Halloween, and we are expecting the most spooky show ever. So, where did we left off? Oh, yeah. So Night had already taken over, and all he had was a flashlight, and no clue on how to get back. He knew it was already too late, and too dangerous to keep on going through the pillarous forest. He began to worry that he would have no shelter for the night, when almost luckily enough, he stumbled across a broken down cabin. It was dark, and he seemed like no one had visited in years, but he knew it was the only place where he could rest until daylight, especially since his flashlight was running out of battery. He knocked on the door a few times, but no one answered, so he let himself in, where strangely enough, a perfect bed, fitted for one person, awaited him in the center. He knew that if the owner came back, he could explain himself. He was sure that the owner wouldn't mind or was even probably dead. So he went ahead and got himself comfortable in bed. As he tried to fall asleep, he couldn't ignore the collection of paintings around the room. Portraits of strange-looking people, all appearing at him, each wearing a smile that sent chills up his spine. Not long after his exhaustion from the hike got the best of him, and he was able to ignore the faces, the next morning he got up early and was shocked to see there were no paintings around the room but windows. And that is our annual ghost story. And up next, we have Sarah Lutheran, who is the conjuring escapist slash literally used to have to be possessed. So that is up next on our late night show tonight.
Now, if you didn't get the chills from that ghost story, we have one final act of the evening. So let me introduce you, Sarah Lutheran, to the stage.
So, Sarah, we have some very insightful questions for you tonight. So, first off, our crowd is all wondering, what were your experiences as a child at the Conjuring House?
So, my experiences as a child at the Conjuring House, it's something I do not look up on. Most people say it's something I should flaunt slash praise about today since I've survived that, but it's nothing to be grateful for, because how much it still haunts me today, especially the possessor. If I just flaunt it around, it will just catch up and I will not be me anymore.
One of the big questions that we have tonight from me and all the crowd and crew here today is, why do you keep on being seclusive at this point in time when you have that experience? Why don't you tell the world? And are you still possessed today? Is that a question that we want to all ask you tonight?
I stay in my house more and more now, just like so the possessor personally doesn't take over, because I find it very hard for him not to take over. And plus, so I don't hurt anyone else at this point, because there's so many things that can go wrong. And I've seen it firsthand. Sometimes it's just conscious, and sometimes it's just not. And I would say yes, but he only comes and goes, but never leaves. Only when you ask, he'll come, and sometimes he'll rarely leave.
So, since you have been possessed before, and he always comes back here and there, tonight we have talked to her behind the stage, and we also are going to be able to bring the possessor back to talk to him tonight. So after this break, we're going to have a special edition of the late night show of talking to the possessed slash possessor. So we are back, and we are here with Harold, isn't it? Yeah, it is Harold. Harold the possessor slash demon, who has possessed Sarah Lutheran all this time and has been in her body slash mind and has taken control of her. And here he is tonight, and we get to talk to him. So Harold, what is your purpose here to take over Sarah?
Hey, Trey. absolutely amazing finally get to talk to you. Oh yeah, I remember what happened to your mother. And I'm excited to finally get to talk to you. And see what unfolds tonight.
How do you know my name? And how do you know about my mom?
It's so funny. You don't understand what and why I'm here and how I know you. But I've been planning this all along. And then I can't wait to see what kind of carnage can unfold.
Turn off the camera! Turn off the camera now!